Actor and co-host Mark Consuelos got into a heated argument with a producer on Live with Kelly and Mark. Despite his devotion to his wife, Kelly Ripa, what mischief did he cause himself? To learn more about the incident, continue reading. Mark Consuelos and the producer get into a heated argument. When it comes to Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, hosts of Live with Kelly and Mark, there is never anything off the table or off limits. After almost 3 decades of marriage, the couple is a dynamic team. Their discussions are frequently humorous and relatable to couples. However, they never back down from inappropriate or gloomy conversations, which makes their banter all the more entertaining. Regretfully, Mark or Kelly might require a day off. As a result, on Thursday, August 7th, Consuelos was flying alone while his wife was away. Elle Duncan, a news anchor, filled in for Kelly, and Mark immediately got into something that annoyed him. He told his co-host that when a man is unable to shake hands properly, it bothers him. The 54-year-old went on to say that he immediately taught his 2 sons how to shake hands. Consequently, he takes this quite seriously. He continued by demonstrating to Elle the worst male handshake, which is when they very lightly touch the fingers. Someone in the audience commented that they agreed with Mark Consuelos' analysis. Mark then grabbed the other person's hand and demonstrated to Elle how he leans in seriously. Elle acknowledged that Mark was doing a lot after he leaned in extremely closely, and they continued. It appears like Mark had gone too far, or that she felt uncomfortable discussing the subject. This is not the first time. Mark had previously expressed dissatisfaction with William Hansen, a male etiquette expert, for slicing bananas instead of eating them with his hands. He glared at Michael Gilman, the producer, and slapped William. Kelly has noticed it's interesting to note that Kelly Ripa has admitted that her husband exhibits alpha male tendencies. Men who display feminine behavior, such as carrying handbags, are ridiculed by Mark Consuelos. A male traveler placed his handbag in the overhead bin while the couple was in flight. Mark quickly took out the purse in response, allowing his wife to put her bags up there. Viewers of Live with Kelly and Mark did not even bring up the strange handshake part. Instead, they praised the relationship between Mark and Elle. Additionally, they have minimized his domineering actions. Do you find Mark Consuelos' attempts to seem strong and manly shocking? The Live with Kelly and Mark studio had seen its fair share of drama, from on-air bloopers to surprise celebrity walk-offs. But what unfolded one Tuesday morning never made it to the cameras. Not directly, anyway. It began innocently enough. The show's opening segment had gone smoothly. Kelly Ripa was in full comedic swing, telling an elaborate story about a neighbor's runaway dog, while Mark Consuelos nodded, laughed, and threw in the occasional witty jab. The studio audience was eating it up. But during the second commercial break, when the cameras cut away and the theme music faded, a subtle shift in energy began to ripple across the set. The spark. Mark was reviewing the cue cards for the next segment, a light-hearted cooking demo with a celebrity chef, when he noticed a small, but to him, glaring change. A particular question he'd wanted to ask had been removed from the stack. He looked over at one of the producers, a veteran of Live named Dana, who was busy talking into her headset. "Hey," he called out, holding up the card. "Where's my question about the chili peppers?" Dana glanced over, distracted. "We cut it for time, Mark. The chef needs more room for the demo." For most hosts, that would have been the end of it. But Mark Consuelos, competitive by nature and fiercely protective of his on-air ideas, wasn't most hosts. The confrontation. When Donna returned from directing a stagehand, she found Mark still holding the card, eyebrow raised. "Cut it for time?" he asked, lowering his voice but leaning in. "That question was the whole point of the segment for me. I promised the chef I'd bring it up. It's part of the story." Dana adjusted her earpiece, her calm demeanor unshaken. "Mark, I understand, but we have a lot to cover, and Kelly's story in the first segment ran long." That, apparently, was the wrong thing to say. "Oh, so this is about Kelly talking too much?" Mark shot back, half smiling but with an edge. Why don't we cut one of her questions then? The sound tech, adjusting mix nearby, froze. The makeup artist hovering behind Kelly paused mid-powder. Everyone knew this was venturing into dangerous territory. Kelly's radar goes up. Kelly, ever attuned to her husband's tone, caught snippets of the exchange. She walked over, mug in hand, pretending to take a casual sip. "What's going on here?" she asked, her voice light but her eyes sharp. "Nothing," Donna said quickly, "just adjusting the cards for time." Mark sighed. "She cut my question. Kelly looked between them, sensing the tension. "Mark, it's a 3-minute cooking segment. You can still slip it in if you want. We've both gone off script before." Dana nodded, eager to move things along. "Exactly. Just keep it tight." Mark hesitated, clearly still annoyed, but relented. "Fine. But next time, at least tell me before you decide to cut something." The audience doesn't miss a thing. When the cameras came back on, the audience noticed a slight stiffness in Mark's demeanor. He smiled, laughed, and even teased the chef. But there was a flicker of something, that subtle, restrained energy of someone still stewing. During the cooking demo, he did manage to slip in the chili pepper question, earning a genuine laugh from the guest. Kelly gave him a discreet, "There you go" smile. But during the final segment of the show, when the hosts did their casual banter on the couch, Mark casually brought up behind-the-scenes disagreements on live TV. He said, glancing toward the producer's booth with a mischievous grin. "Sometimes the real spice of live isn't in the cooking segment. It's in the control room." Kelly nearly spit out her coffee. "Mark." The audience laughed, sensing there was more to the story. The fallout. After the show wrapped, the studio crew began the daily teardown, but the air was still charged. Dana approached Mark backstage. "I get it, you were frustrated," she said evenly. "But you can't throw shade at the control room on air. It puts us in a tough spot." Mark crossed his arms. "I wasn't throwing shade. I was being transparent." Dana gave him a look that said she heard every version of transparent in the business. "Look, we're all on the same team here. But you have to trust that when we make cuts, it's for the flow of the show." Kelly stepped in before things could escalate again. "Okay, boys and girls," she said in her peacekeeping voice, "we're all professionals here. Let's save the chili pepper drama for the actual cooking segments, yeah?" Mark exhaled, finally cracking a grin. "Fine. No more on-air digs." Dana smiled tightly. "And no more cutting chili questions without a heads-up. Social media stirs the pot." Even though nothing explicitly dramatic had aired, eagle-eyed fans began posting on social media about the weird vibe between Mark and the crew. GIFs of him raising an eyebrow during the cooking segment started circulating, with captions like "Mark versus the producers. Episode 1. A behind-the-scenes clip from the show's Instagram account, meant to promote the recipe, was flooded with comments like "Tell us the chili pepper story," and "Mark is feisty today." By the next morning, entertainment blogs had picked up the chatter. Mark Consuelos clashes with producer over cooking segment. One headline read, complete with exaggerated language about a heated standoff. The on-air resolution. Realizing the buzz wasn't going away, Kelly and Mark decided to address it head-on in the next show's opening. "So apparently, people think I got into a big fight with our producer yesterday," Mark began, looking sheepishly at the camera. "Which is kind of true." Kelly jumped in. "It was about chili peppers. That's it. Not politics, not money. Chili peppers." Mark laughed. "I stand by my question. But I also stand by our producers, who are the reason this show actually works every day." Dana, sitting in the control room, gave a thumbs up that was caught on the studio monitors. The audience cheered, the tension broke, and the whole thing turned into a running joke for the rest of the week. Lessons learned, sort of. Backstage, Mark admitted the incident taught him something about the pace and unpredictability of live television. "Things move fast here," he said. "You have to pick your battles." "I guess I'm still learning which battles are worth picking." Kelly smirked. "And which ones involve chili peppers?" Mark grinned. "Exactly. The producers, for their part, acknowledged that giving the hosts a heads up about changes could prevent similar flare-ups in the future. Still, as Kelly pointed out, a little behind-the-scenes tension just means we care. And if you can't handle the heat, well, you know the rest. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.